On today's video, the truck's getting the Marty McFly treatment.
Don't forget the bumper.
Hello, Keep It Dirty Off-Road, and today we're continuing our Gen 1 Raptor rehab video as we move from rehabbing the truck to actually upgrading the truck. In the last video, we gave her a custom bumper as well as some work underneath. In this video, she's getting a custom chase track and the custom rear bumper.
Sick license plate.
So those that have been following the channel know that we're obsessed with that 70s, 80s race truck look. That's why my front lights look the way they do. This is not our first chase track either. If you guys have seen our old Gen 2s, we did the same treatment for both of those trucks and gave it what we call the Marty McFly treatment.
Third time the charm.
And honestly, guys, it all stems from that first time we saw Back to the Future and we saw Marty McFly's truck at the end of that movie. I love that look on that Toyota, and we were trying to replicate that just in a modern way with our Raptors. When it came down to doing the Gen 1, it was a little bit more of a priority for me to do it because with the Gen 2 you can really upgrade it and make it look different. With the Gen 1 they almost all look the same, especially if they're black. They almost always look the same, and this truck was black on black on black. I mean, it was the most boring but also the most generic Raptor setup ever, and we wanted it to stand out, so we gave it the Marty McFly treatment. Now, to help us get to the next phase of this build, we drove down to LA and visited the guys at West Side Offroad Group, James's shop. When doing any custom work, you want a shop that has a passion for that kind of work. Not all shops are created equal, right? They all have their strengths and weaknesses when it comes to doing off-road builds. You want to find one that has the passion for doing the custom stuff because it's not everybody's cup of tea. Let me give you an example, right? SVC is really good at their suspensions and customer service, but they don't like to do anything custom. We went with Hannah Racing Design because we know they're killing it with the front bumpers, and James and his crew at West Side Offroad Group have already churned out a couple of really cool racks for a bunch of people, and they have the experience we needed to do what we wanted to do with this truck. While we were talking over the build and our requirements, this happened. Oh, we may get bounced in here. That fire is just starting to get out of control.
Oh shit. I'm not sure if it's behind. Yeah, or the transmission plates.
Whatever that is, man, that's got plenty of fuel.
It's black.
There's a transmission guy, yeah, and then the guy to the left of it is a bro.
And it escalated quickly. We struggled with the idea of either taking the truck back with us or leaving it there, and then ultimately we decided to leave it there. We knew it was going to be in good hands with James, and if things did get out of hand, he would make sure the trucks were okay. So we weren't too worried, and luckily the fire department was already on scene and tackling the fire, so we knew things were going to be okay, and they were. By the next day they were. Holy shit, dude. That's spreading fucking quick, man. It hasn't even been 5 minutes. Oh shit, bud. Oh shit, look at that. Is it looking on the screen? Yeah, we gotta turn. It's big. That's scary. So luckily everybody was okay, nobody was hurt. Turns out the fire was caused by a power line that had fell and was slapping on one of the buildings. Local business called it in, and the power company decided to not respond to it right away. A couple days later, fire. The build started relatively quickly with WOG getting into it, WOG being West Side Offroad Group, trying to find what the best layout was going to be for our setup. We already decided that we definitely wanted the quick access stuff in the back. We wanted the tires in the back, we wanted our power tank, our jack, and then we wanted a way to access all of our quick tools in the back just to make our lives easier on the trail. The last thing we want to do is have to open everything up and go all the way to the back just to get the tools. One of the biggest challenges was going to be where we're going to put our recovery boards. We tried a few different spots, but they're just big, awkward, and heavy, and we were struggling trying to find the best position. The jack, power tank, and the CO2 tank was easy. I wanted those easy access right at the back so I can, I want to be able to fill up without having to take this thing out. It's also some of the tools that we use the most, right? So we wanted them easy access. I didn't want to have to take anything else out to take them out. Once we had an idea of kind of where things are going to be going, that's when James and his crew started building the structure that was going to support everything. We're still playing around. I think figuring out the layout is what took the most time because it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of try and error to try to figure it out. We just kept struggling with the recovery boards, figuring out where those were going to fit. They were just big. They're big and it's an awkward shape. Finally, James came up with a really good idea to put them over the tires too, and allowed me to strap them in either there or somewhere else, which I thought was a great idea. Around this time, I did a quick stop over to check on progress, and also we wanted to drop off an umbrella because we wanted to have an umbrella attachment point for race days that was integrated into the rack. When we were looking at the truck, I was really happy with the progress. The lines looked great, layout was great, everything was easy access. I loved what I was seeing from these guys. WOG basically just needed to weld everything up because everything was tack weld, finish up my box and do a couple little other items, and it was almost going to be done. Finally got to doing the light hoop, and it was one of my favorite features because it was a very simple design. Used a single bolt to hold everything in. There was no actuators or nothing like that. It was a simple solution. When it comes to doing a light setup up here, you want something simple with bolts. People tend to use actuators up here. Actuators have some play in it, they move, and they fail too. They fail really easy. So we wanted something with bolts that gave us the strongest hold. Yes, it's extra work to flip this down and all that stuff, but it's the only way to have a solid connection that will last and is reliable. That was a big requirement for us. Good. Now, before we know it, the rack was ready for powder, and it was time to move on to the bumper build. As we started moving on to the bumper build, we started off with the Mazzula Offroad bumper. I wanted integrated sensors, I wanted a hidden hitch. I needed a shop to kind of help us out with that, and WOG did a really good job of making it a clean install, also making sure that that hidden hitch was strong. It's a non-conventional design, guys. I mean, it integrated into the actual frame because we actually had to cut the frame in order to get this look, but it's gonna give me the maximum clearance on the back of the truck. And that's what we were going for. Maximum clearance here so that I'm not dragging that rear hitch everywhere we go. Because that was one of the biggest problems I've seen in almost all aftermarket bumpers. The hitch sits underneath. Everywhere you go, you're dragging that thing and you're just damaging your stuff. I didn't want that. Before we knew it, the build was done. Unfortunately though, the powder coater did take a little longer than normal. James offered to deliver the truck to us on Christmas Eve at my parents' house, and here's what happened as we took delivery of the truck.
What's up, man?
All right, dude.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, man. It looks great, dude.
I'm so glad we did the fully hidden hitch. I think it came out super sweet.
Right now, it looks like that's her butt, though. Looks like her balloon knot.
I was like, man, I don't think you had a license plate.
No, I just got final legal registration a couple days ago, actually. Dude, fucking looks good, man. Open it up. See how everything's within access?
We have 2 spares.
Yeah. Dual spares now.
And I really like the tread thing that we kind of came up with, like you were talking about.
Oh, that's fucking sweet, man.
Yeah, so we used Nylox, and then we put a like a safety pin in it just in case like the plastic flexes and the Nylox somehow backed out. We put a safety catch on there just in case.
Shit, I like the way that goes in like that too. It's all the way around.
If I was going to kind of R&D it some more, I might cut in a logo or some design or something in there since it's 3/16.
You could even just cut it like right there so that it just goes the width so it fits any size.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're kind of might play with it a little bit and see if we can streamline it a little. I mean, it'll work for anything at this point, but add a little bit of style to it maybe. I don't know.
The one thing I was thinking is if it was smaller, I could put it on the toolbox too. It wouldn't have to be here. But I like the way this looks, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're not. It's just a kind of a lot of material, but that's not a big deal. You know, I can always make another one and play with it for some options.
Because I think if you do it smaller, it'll fit anywhere. So people will buy just a plate just to mount it.
Everything fit in there, in the bag with there.
Is this waterproof?
I was thinking about getting. I couldn't get it in time. A little bit of material right here.
Okay.
It's just a really tight tolerance because I made it out of 3/16 because you wanted to be able to potentially walk on it. You know.
Yeah.
So it's a real tight tolerance.
It looks good, dude. See, everything's within easy access.
I got the hitch pin or the trailer plug connector way up underneath, so you can't see anything. Everything, we have that big piece of 250 wall tube, and all the wires are like up above it, so it kind of created a stop and a protection for the wires.
I'll be having some fun wiring this weekend.
I have 9 Switch Pros on order. I just need to get them at some point.
Yeah, if you can get them, they're so far behind.
Exactly. Same thing with S-Pod. Put this other plate here. Another big one, just so that in case.
Yeah, because that is a lot of weight. Fucking hey, let me see the bumper too. See how that went in? It makes my exhaust look like it's dragging now.
Yeah, we shortened it just a hair because we had to remove it to get the crossbar in. So we shortened it up just a bit. There's 1/4-inch plate up in here where it connects. Tied it into the frame, so we plated it on both sides.
What's good about this though is now everything is completely out of the way. Dude.
Yeah, it's so high. If you drag now, you're going to be going straight up and down.
Fuck, that looks good. So that's the hitch. I'm gonna call that her balloon knot from now on. And then look at that. Got the hooks for right there. It's still bolt on. So bolt on here. 1, 2, a big one right there. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bolts holding it. More than what a stock setup would handle. Look at that. This is so fucking cool, man. They did an awesome fucking job. Oh, they did an awesome job. Since we got the truck on Christmas Eve, we didn't get a chance to really test everything out. So the next day, that weekend, it was time to really test it all out and basically give it the Ethan test and make sure everything was good. Ethan, let's give the light bar an Ethan test. Ethan test. It moves.
I just didn't even...
Yeah, we need to tighten it up. The metal bolt, we need to tighten it up.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Have fun.
What do you call it? 10-point bits. All right, tighten it as much as it'll go. Give it a try again.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as tight as it'll go.
And it still moves.
Yeah,
that's not gonna be good.
yeah, because...
Yeah, and this hole doesn't line up.
Yeah, they don't line up.
They're just a little bit off. So we're gonna have to drill that out.
Shake this? Yeah, shake it.
So let me show you guys a couple of the key features of this thing and why we built it this way. First, the tunnel down the middle. I wanted to have the ability to use this as a truck for when we have to pick up something, say from like a Kia or something like that. This is a dedicated off-road rig for us, but not having truck functionality was a problem, and we wanted to make sure that that was addressed. So the tunnel in the middle solved that. Second, I wanted a way to carry a sledgehammer too. So we have a sledgehammer / axe that's hidden in the back, and it's nice and secured in there. It's a nice little hidden gem, along with a shovel that we could use for recovery. And that shovel too is also easy to access. And then obviously we had to go through everything and give it the Ethan test. Pull forward slowly. There you go.
Oh my God, the shovel is cold. Get in there. Get all the way in there. Come on. There we go. Oh, what the hell?
It doesn't come out, right?
No.
That's good. That's what we want.
Yeah, and then...
And do you see what we got here for the... Take a look at the way the the gas can plates were designed. Those were designed so that I can have access to maintenance the shocks without having to remove anything. And that's a key feature for me. I needed to have easy access to the shocks because I'm gonna need to touch those at least once a year and take them off, rebuild them, you know, do nitrogen checks. Needed to have easy access to all that stuff. That was important. It's actually not a bad idea to have it stuck down there so that it doesn't move. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
What'd
you do?
And fell through the truck.
You dropped something.
It was completely out of my control. Gravity had to play in it.
Ride it through the right spot. Ride it through behind it before you start tightening it. We went ahead and added our fire extinguisher on the side of the truck. There you go.
And then when we get it out, try to get it out again because I was messed up.
You gotta go up. Yeah. Here we go. Well, forward, I should say.
Yeah.
That's good. That works.
Yeah.
And it's kind of out of the way. It's not all ugly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
We wired up our chase lights. Now, because this is a Gen 1 and I only have 4 switches, our chase lights are wired to our whip mounts. And we ended up reusing the cable that was already in the back for the chase lights in the bumper. So we just routed that between the cab and the bed, and we called it done. Now, the main lights was a little bit more difficult. Main lights, we needed to either pick a direction. Were we gonna go through the cab and use the lines inside the cab, or were we gonna go through the frame? This truck already had lines going through the frame for the rear back, so we ended up going through the frame because it was just easier. The lines were already there. We already had a path. It was just a matter of us feeding the line through. To feed the cables through, we use one of these. You can find these at your local Lowe's or Home Depot. I forget what the actual name of this thing is. We'll make sure we link some on our Amazon pages, but it's basically just a flexible tape that you use to run cables. Feed it through, grab a cable on the other side, tape it through, and pull it out. It's a very simple process. It only took a little while, and highly recommend it. See, we fed it through there. Yeah, it's gonna go all through the frame. It's coming down the cab. Goes over the frame. On the inside of the frame, this is our ground. It's already what the other lights are using, so that's what we're using for our ground. And then we're gonna go on the frame right here. And see how we have our little pull cable here? This is what we're gonna use to pull out. All right, Christian, get on the other side and start pulling it through. Just make sure you go slowly, please. You want me to keep pulling until there's no tension?
Yeah, keep pulling. Pulling slowly.
Right there. Okay. So now that we had the lights wired, we had our extinguisher on, it was finally time to get it back to WOG, and that's when James and his crew did all the fixes. Like I said before, day and a half, they got it all done quick. Added a bar at the top to make that thing solid. It's not moving anymore. Added extra guzzets for our power tank. That's not moving anymore. And we added the lock. You know what we got to do, right?
You can test.
Yep.
I can't see it. You can see it. It's right there.
Oh, there it is.
The plate right there.
Yeah, I see it now. Cool. You ended up using a trailer lock? Or what is that?
Yeah, it's basically, it's for a tongue, like the tongue lock on the actual trailer.
Uh-huh.
I wanted one that was the 1/4 inch with the round end, but no one has them in stock right now. So that was the one that we found, but you could totally order one online. So that the miniature version of this would sit
On the bottom?
right on the bottom and just have that nub. But no one had these in that size. These are snap off, so if you want, you could snap it off there. So it's just that little guy.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we could have done something recessed and hidden, you know, if we had thought about it from the get-go and engineered it, but
Yep.
in a pinch to make it lock for you to go out.
I like how you did the plate. That came out good, man. Oh, it's solid now.
That's solid. The whole truck moved now.
That's good. That's what we want. Dude, it's amazing how simple the solution is, though. A single bar and a single bolt is the one that's really keeping it all from moving. So much simpler than before, and it's not as big.
Yeah.
Where does this go when you fold it down?
We just take it off.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll just take it off, and one of them will go back on. And we'll probably end up putting it in here. I'll end up doing a little bag to put it in there.
Get one of the little mini dirt bags or something.
Yeah. Now, while we were there, we also saw that our buddy's truck, Daniel, his truck was there getting some prep. And that's one thing you guys got to realize, guys. Trucks like these, they require a lot of maintenance, and you want to pick a shop to help you do that maintenance because of how much it is, right? Taking a look at those joints, WOG is perfectly positioned. They're a very good shop at doing prep, just like Hannah Racing Design and some of the other shops we visited. They're really great for that. So make sure you guys check them out. And they also do more than just trucks there, right? We saw a couple custom cars getting worked on, which is kind of cool. Next, we needed to work on the license plate, and I wanted a flip down solution. We tried something from Amazon that I thought was gonna work. It looked like it was really designed perfectly for this, but the holes didn't line up with the standard license plate mounts. Now, this can be installed 2 ways. You can either do it like that and have it flip up, or you can do it upside down and have it flip down. I think I'm gonna do the upside down so it has a cleaner look up at the top. And then I used some bolts that I already had, some 3/8/16, some really shorty ones with some nylocks. Nylocks not going to be any useful here because it's not going to kill it enough, but it's shorty bolts that don't look too ugly to hold it all in. Oh, come on. It's not even standard holding. It's not even the right length. We would have had to drill an extra hole, and I didn't want to drill through this. This is half-inch steel. I'm not drilling through this. This is a pain in the butt to drill through. We ended up going to Summit Racing and looking at their kit, and their kit didn't fit either. The holes didn't line up, but there was adjustment on here to allow us to align it. And we ended up removing the pin, moving the bracket over, bending the slot back, and this allowed us to hold it in place without any movement, and now we have our license plate. So now that the truck was all ready, it was time to do a trail test, and we decided to go out to Ocotillo Wells on New Year's Eve. Now, if you ever go down to Ocotillo, I highly recommend you guys take the scenic route through Temecula. Beautiful there. It's a nice winding mountain road. The views are great. It's not a particularly fast drive. You'll sometimes get stuck behind RVs, but it's totally worth it just for the views alone. So I highly recommend it. But being back in Ocotillo also brought back some memories. One of the first rapid runs I ever did started here, guys. Started in Borrego Springs, but our actual trail started here. That was a fun trip. Still good friends with a lot of those guys too. Still remember that trip. It was kind of interesting because out of everybody that showed up, I was the most prepared, right? I had the radio, I had all the gear. I even had gear I didn't need, right? Gear that I don't carry anymore, like the Highland jack and stuff like that. Yeah, that was a fun time. That first trip, first time on trails. It was pretty cool. So yeah, being back in Ocotillo brings back a lot of memories from those first couple of runs. We don't really visit Ocotillo much anymore because it's busy, right? It's always busy and there's a lot of drinking and driving out there, and as you guys know, us and holidays don't mix. We don't go out on holidays for many reasons, but it never goes right for us when we go out on a holiday. It's too busy and there's always the chance for something to happen. It's how we lost our first Raptor, so we try to avoid them. And I kind of should have listened to my gut this one and not gone, but you know, we wanted to go out and do some testing. So we went out with Caesar and Wayne from SDI. Now, we met up at SDI's tent there at Ocotillo. They were set up there for the holiday. They were doing spring kit sales and doing free installation as well as doing nitrogen checks. Now, if you haven't checked out SDI, definitely check out those videos. We're gonna put a bunch of them on here. Really cool tech that they're coming out with for shocks and all that stuff and really improving live valves, and they're really changing the off-road game. Should have really listened to the signs. Caesar showed up late, so that was the first sign something was going wrong. He showed up a couple hours late just because of the traffic. Seeing Caesar unpack all this stuff also reminded me why we have a Raptor. I just had to air down and I was ready to go. He had to air down, he had to pull his UTVs out, he had to gas them, he had to do so much. It was such a pain. Then at the end of the day, he's got to do all that. You know, he can't just drive away. Not even 5 minutes into the run, this happened. So this is why we go out and test. You see all that oil? Got a busted line right over here. See that right there? Looks like you got pinched. So I gotta fix that and then figure out a way to route that so it doesn't get pinched anymore. Fucking blows. Gonna have to get towed home unless we can find somebody that can make a line for us. Caesar, for the help, man.
Anytime, brother. I know you would do the same for me. So it went down quite a bit.
Yeah. It works, it works. And that's mainly all Caesar, so thank you, Caesar, for the help, man.
Anytime.
You're a lifesaver today.
Anytime.
Thank you. The drive back was pretty sketchy. We were basically using the engine primarily to slow down because every time I hit the brakes, the whole truck pulled in one direction. It was very, very sketchy. We also took the long way through Temecula because it's a little slower and I wouldn't have to use the brakes as much, honestly. I could use the engine for the most part. And if I got stuck behind an RV, even better. I could go even slower and not have to worry about it. So it made it for a much easier drive. I didn't want to be stuck on the 10 dealing with traffic, you know, stop and go traffic with only one brake up front. We ended up getting home just fine. The fix that Caesar helped us put in held up. There wasn't a single extra drop on the bottom there and it held up and we made it home. So thank you, Caesar, for the help, man. You were a lifesaver again, dude. Thank you so much. And I love riding with people like Caesar that are just really willing to hop in and help out. Now, what ended up happening? Well, we've had the whole front end apart here a couple months ago while Hannah was doing their thing and the line was just ran wrong. And first hole, when that thing went full droop, it picks the line and Bob's your uncle. In the next couple of videos, guys, we're gonna go ahead and show you guys the repair of that line, and we're gonna take this opportunity to upgrade all the lines to lime green as well, and get the truck rolling again and do a proper test in the Mojave Trail. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. So that's it for this video, guys. Put any questions or comments below. Please consider subscribing, and thanks for watching. Oh my God, it's dirty.
You're dirty.
Look at that. We got clear.
Yes. Oh, that must have been difficult for you, big boy.
Shut up.